Hey Roadies, this is Adriana from Roadie Free Radio. In this episode, Larry speaks with audio engineer Nite Bob and veteran tour manager Rich Nesin. With careers spanning from late 60s to early 70s, these two have been working with a variety of artists such as Bob Dylan, Iggy Pop, New York Dolls, Aerosmith, Kiss, and several more. In this short clip, Rich talks about what's included in just a day of tour managing. Spanning from 6 a.m. flights to 20-minute naps, Rich is a jack of all trades when it comes to managing. He also gives us insight to what it was like touring with steelpulse and having a family at home, in which he was able to combine the two and be a dad at work. If you want to hear more about Rich's tour managing, make sure to check out the full episode number 113 from December 10th, 2018. Thank you for listening, and thank you for subbing. Here's Larry.
I mean, I used to say, I've worn a lot of hats in my 45 years, not just a tour manager, not just a backline guy. I've been a production manager on tour. I've also been a promoter, rep, and production manager for venues. And the one thing I always say is the show day is the easiest day of that week if I've done my job right. True. And it means I've advanced the show. I've spoken to people at the right time, knew exactly what was coming. I had the right amount of crew guys. I had catering ready. If I had all that stuff, I did all that work in the days and the weeks leading up to that show. That show day is a matter of sitting in my office playing solitaire and fielding questions and, waiting for the first guy to come along with a joint.
So getting back. So show day, what happens? What's a typical day look like?
We run for the hills. What do you mean?
Well, no. I mean, it depends on the level of the band. You know, suppose you're on a fly date, right? Which means you're getting your band out of a hotel, to an airport, getting their luggage or whatever, getting them onto the plane, right? Getting to point B, getting transportation. Either get rid of them. You take them to the hotel, dump them there, take your crew people, you go to the venue. We're talking now about noon, right? You get there.
Based around a 6 a.m. flight.
Yeah, 6 a.m. flight, waiting around. A lot of waiting around. And then you go to the venue and you double check things that the dressing rooms are just like he sent you pictures of, and that they're, the catering stuff is all together, the PA and lights, all that stuff, the rental backline is all as it should be.
It's also important just in terms of information flow to walk around the place and know the physical layout of a venue if it's the first time you've been there, so that when you come back later with the band, you can lead them and you know where they're going. Because when you walk in, nothing worse than having a band following you and you don't have a clue where you're going. You walk into this building, okay, anybody know where the dressing rooms are?
Yeah, really.
And the guy in the back's going, "Where's catering?" Yeah. Oh, usually the drummer.
Yeah. It's like if your band sound checks, they come in, they get angry, they go to the dressing room, they sulk, right? Because in a sound check, you're really asking a band to come into an alien environment and say, "What don't you like?" So it really becomes. I try never to have band sound checks anymore. I much prefer that my backline people do it, because they know over a period of time what these guys need. And I'll tell you, it's much nicer to have the band come in, they go to their nice little dressing room, they have a bottle of Fiji water or, some piece of fruit, and they walk out on stage and the people go, ah. All of a sudden the monitors don't matter. Nothing matters. They're like going, they love me. They play their show. They finish their show. They go back to the dressing room. They have another bottle of Fiji water, maybe some more fruit, maybe a pizza.
Can I work for that band?
They do exist.
I would love to work for that band, because
they're out there.
You mentioned that I worked for Steel Pulse for 20. I've been with them for 21 years, and still part of that family. And we don't do sound checks with Steel Pulse. We do matinees. That band will get on a stage. If our sound check is at 4 o'clock, they'll get on the stage at 4 o'clock, and they'll stand around on the stage until the crew are actually ready, which is usually 5 o'clock. Then they'll go through things till about 5:30, and then the leader of the band, David Hines, will come in about 5:30, because now he thinks everybody's probably ready for him, and then he'll run them through every song that he heard even the slightest misnote or wrong beat 3 days ago. and he'll run through that song 8 times until it's now 7:30, and you're going, doors are in 30 minutes. And we got to get going, guys. And they say, I got you, man. So,
There's no
doors are in
medication
15
for
minutes, man.
that.
We got to get you out of here. Say, I got you, man. So finally, the bass player, Amlak Tafarai, will walk off the stage and just go, I'm done. He can bloody well fly on me. It's like, great, whatever. And then, so now he get off the stage, and the doors are about to open, and David will go to me, I need to go back to the hotel. I need to take a nap before we play. And okay, where's the runner? Oh, he's out getting the pizza for the crew. It's like, all right, can you get me a cab? Well, there's only 2 cabs in this town, and I think both are busy. Where's the hotel? Is there a hotel closer?
There's only one Uber.
Herding cats.
Yeah, Uber, right. It is. But in any case, I'll get him back to the hotel. He'll have 20 minutes to lie down.
But he got his 20 minutes.
He got his 20 minutes in, and it took me 40 minutes to get him out of the room.
He wins.
And I'm going like, all the time. As a tour manager, I'm going, I've got 17 other things I should be doing, but I'm busy taking care of this one person. And I have to because he's the one who's technically signing the checks. So, yeah, I'm taking care of him.
Bad.
So can I work for your band, Bob?
Absolutely. Like I said to Larry earlier, and to you, too, I go, the window of acceptability shrinks every day for me for what I'm willing to put up with. I think an important point is, like, that's a basic kind of day, but that day repeats over and over and over again, whether you're doing fly dates. If you have a bus, it's actually worse because everybody's smashed together in this submarine, right, for hours, you know what I mean? And, like, they fight over, it's too hot, it's too cold, it's too hot, it's too cold, It's like people get up in the middle of the night and turn the air conditioning off, and all of a sudden you're sweating to death in your bunk, right? Because someone, it's like, that's the reason you have a quilt in there.
Right. And make no mistake, when you have a dozen people living in a tin can, bacteria
Grows.
And it grows faster and more virulent when it's warm.
Yeah.
So keeping a bus cold, even in the wintertime, is really necessary for sustaining health.
It's truth. Absolutely true.
And it's a battle, as Bob said, it's a battle we all endure on the road.
So over a period of like 2 or 3 months, the littlest things become big deals, right? It could be as easy as the smell of socks.
Or it can be something seemingly benign, like the guy in the bunk above me always puts his suitcase on my bunk while he's trying to get something out of it. Mm-hmm. And his suitcase has all this crap on it and whatever, and I end up getting into my bunk and it's like full of dirt.
Yeah.
Invariably, there's little things that you shrug off on any given day. After 6 weeks, you want to kill somebody.
It's true.
So how do you guys stay sane out there?
You don't.
No.
Plain and simple, you don't. I mean, there was an
ways
online
throughout
thread.
the
There was an online thread a couple of weeks ago, one of the touring sites, about what do you do when you first come off the road. I mean, you're sometimes bordering on suicidal, and it's like, how do you get through that time? And you really got to be kind to yourself. You got to forgive yourself everything. You got to let yourself do whatever it is you need. When I used to tour more heavily than I do today, I'd come off the road, and somewhere 10 days, if I'm lucky, 3 weeks if it's been really grueling, I wake up one morning, I go, oh, I'm back. All of a sudden, I feel like me again. And I didn't even necessarily know I didn't feel like me in all that time. But eventually the amount of rest you needed catches up with you. The routines of your normal day-to-day life, the things you like to do, the things you care about, the people you know and love, begin to, fall back into place. Yeah. I mean, you come off touring and you're a completely different person, for a whole variety of reasons, some of which we've gone into. But it's not something that any of us take lightly, to be honest. Yeah.
And you've been able to maintain a family through most of this, yeah?
Well, that's when I started weaning myself away from touring somewhat. And that was one of the reasons I stayed with Steel Pulse as long as I did, is because they're my family. And it was okay for my wife to come out or my son to come out and be a part of that, so that I could be dad while I'm also making a living.
How did that affect you? How did them giving you that responsibility or that ability to do that? How did that affect you?
It was enormous.
work?
It was enormous. I mean, look, it's not just me and Steel Pulse. Bob and any band he works for, Drew and any band he works for, anybody who knows what we do, whatever band they work for, you're a family. From day one to the final day, you share intimacies and personal experiences that it's very much like being in an army troop. You're a part of something that only those people understand. So a willingness to let what is essentially an outsider in, a girlfriend, a wife, is an enormous boon, because if you're involved with somebody who does what we do, you already understand some of what our lives are like. So those people, my wife specifically, would come out and lend a hand. Hey, how can I help you? What can I get? What do you need? My son, as he grew up, would come on the road and go into the venue with the crew and start laying out cables and stuff like that and learning how to put a PA together. Fortunately, he's more talented musically than I was, so he's got a better future. But it's really true. This sense of alienation is a very real experience for all of us on the road.
Hey, what's happening, roadies? It's Larry here. Just wanted to thank you so much for listening to this short clip. I really hope you got something out of it. If you can take 2 seconds to head over to iTunes and drop us a review or a comment, we would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Keep listening, keep coming back, stay healthy out there, and remember, no roadies, no rock and roll.